Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and welcome back to the September series where I'm uploading a video every other day. Today is a book haul and it's probably going to be one of the last book hauls you see from me in a while because I'm officially on a book buying ban, and I'm using quotation marks because I can't not buy a book every now and then. That would just be rude. And I am still a part of like Aardvark. I'm pausing book of the month right now, but I think I should be allowed to buy like one new book a month. Would you support me in that endeavor? If you say no, blocked. Just kidding, but I think I have 28 books here unless I remember one that's on the shelf. These are all books that I've bought since I think the middle of June, and out of those 28 I've read 5 of them, which is 17.8%. I'm not proud, but at least it's not 0. Let me quickly go over those 5 books. I'll just tell you the rating real quick. Cross My Heart, 5 stars, and I bought this after I read it, which now that I'm on a book buying ban, I don't know if I would repeat that, but come on, I had to transfer my tabs from my library copy. If you want to see me read this, it's in this video. I had a very fun time. An Education and Malice, I gave this 3 stars in this video. I had an okay time. House of the Beast, so beautiful. I don't regret buying her because she's fucking gorgeous. I read her in this video and I gave her 3 stars. I had an okay time. Also in this video, I read the Raven Boys graphic novel and I gave it 4 stars. I had a good time. And I read Terror at the Gates, which I read in this video. This was a fun video. I gave this 3.5. The first half, I had a fucking amazing time. The second half, I just had an okay time. 5 stars stolen right from under me. Now onto books that I have not read, and I've got to tell you, Grant bought like half of these books. Last month, he randomly came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to take you to Barnes & Noble and buy you a bunch of books." Ladies, has a man ever said anything hotter than that? I don't think so. So thank you to Daddy Grant. Maybe he'll say it again and we'll have another book haul sooner than I think. First up, I got All About Love by Bell Hooks. This is actually nonfiction, look at me. And I got this just because so many people have recommended it to me, but also so many people recommend it to other human beings. And I've heard literally nothing but good things. It's supposed to be very insightful, obviously on Bell Hooks' life. So I think these are like essays from her personal life, but also to the broader people, aka you and I, you and me. But every single person I read this say that they have a better understanding about their own type of love that they want to receive, and also an insight into other people as well. And just like when I read this book, which is all about, what was it called? Attachment Theory. Ever since reading that book, I have never read a single fiction book, for example, and not thought about attachment theory and thought like, this Carmilla, she's anxious, babe. And so that's what I'm hoping for this. Obviously, I want some personal insight, but I think the psychology and the emotions of characters is what really draws me to a book, so I gotta do my homework. I'm hoping this really opens my eyes to some things that I don't either think about consciously or it just punches me in the gut. You never know. Next up, I got Among Friends, and the reason I got this, well, it was on my radar when I was searching new releases the month that this came out. I believe it's about 2 very close family friends. There's like a couple generations, parents and children, and something happens one weekend when they're all staying with each other and like the entire fucking, excuse you, dynamic shifts and blows up. And I think there might be some content warnings you want to read in here. I might be getting this mixed up with another book, but the reason I got this from Book of the Month was because it said something on their website that I've never seen before, and it said something like, "Warning, this is rather highbrow," or something like that. Basically saying this is a pretentious book, and I don't think I've ever seen that on Book of the Month, so I was curious, and also it made me giggle. And I suppose there's a part of me, a little petty part, that wants to read something pretentious and be like, look at that, it's pretentious. Ooh, that's not a great color on me. I'm gonna put it down. Next up, I got Arcana. Ooh, she's soft, and I got this at Barnes & Noble. This is the same softness that's like in an Aardvark book, and it has old school gold foiling, which yes, I do think is classy. The gold can always win. This is the front. She's alright. I have no idea what it means, so maybe it's even cooler than alright. This book involves tarot cards, which is why I originally thought it would be fun, but also this is kind of a silly premise. This girl is using tarot cards. Apparently it's illegal in this fantasy world, and she gets caught by this dude who happens to be the headmaster of a school. He wants to use her tarot card magic to look into his father, question mark? I'm kind of forgetting this already. This dude's a prince, also a headmaster, and he wants to steal a tarot card from the king. I'm guessing that's his daddy, but could be another king. Anyway, the only way that they can do this is if they get fake engaged. I just find those plots funny, okay? And he enrolls her at his school. Can you imagine showing up to school and being like, yeah, I'm a felon and also I'm fucking the headmaster? Iconic, honestly. Next up, I got Assistant to the Villain, which I did take a crack at. Haven't finished it yet. This is sort of historical fantasy in a Shrek kind of way. It's very cheeky. Maybe that's a good word for it. Our main character's name is Evie. She desperately needs a job and she runs into this villain. He's supposed to be super deadly, super dangerous, and she's not fazed. We know he's instantly in love with her because she's just different. This story is them working together months later. There's like a little time jump and they've got their own little routine going. It's very cute. I thought it was very cute. And then there's a mystery because someone within their workplace, he has an entire like emporium of people living in his castle working for him. How do they all keep the secret? I don't know. But there's a mole amongst them and they're gonna try to weed them out while dodging literal bombs. The point that I got to, they are so fucking in love with each other, but they're so blind to each other. It's kind of annoying, but also like I can't wait for them to finally admit their feelings. But the mystery, I don't really care about. Maybe it gets better, let me know. Is it just a steady ride or is it the thing where the second half is a lot better? I'm really crossing my fingers if you can tell. Next up we have The Between by Tanana Reeve-Dew, and this was an impulse purchase. Look at this cover. It's so cool. Look at the spine. Apparently this is like a special edition, limited edition. She's very petite and I had to have her. The only thing on the back, it says, Hilton was 7 when his grandmother died and it was a bad time. Then it says, in red, but it was worse when she died again. Apparently when this main character named Hilton was a little boy, his grandmother sacrificed her life to save him from drowning. And then this is set 30 years in the present, or I guess 30 years in the future from then. You know what I mean. He starts having these like lucid nightmares that start like bleeding into his real life. And at the same time, his wife is running for office in Florida, God bless her, and she's receiving all this racist hate mail. So he's got this like internal demons and also these outside demons. And it sounds really stressful, but also the mix of fantasy and reality. It says right here, as Hilton battles both the sociopath threatening to destroy his family and the even more terrifying enemy stalking his sleep. Stalking his sleep, that's scary. The line between reality and fantasy dissolves. Like, I am so intrigued, but also this is gonna be a time. I've never read anything by Tanana Reeve-Dew, and I think this might be her debut novel. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you have any other titles from this author that you love, let me know. Next up, I think I showed you that I got this in a vlog, but this is Caught Up, the sequel to Lights Out. Let me go get her. Look at them. Now, I believe this is the kind of romance series that they follow two completely different couples. I'm sure there's gonna be like references to this couple in this book. We already know they have a slight connection. And as I've never read the synopsis, I don't know if there are any spoilers for this book. So if you really don't want to risk it, I would move on to the next book. But I'm gonna read this verbatim. Also, sorry if that's boring. First of all, it says, get on your knees and pray, P-R-E-Y. Okay, I want this woman and I'm a man who always gets what he wants. Allie, calm down. Nico Jr. Trochi? I'm not Italian, I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Knows Lauren Marchetti is off limits. Exactly what I want to hear. Men like him don't get to have women like her. Oh. If he's a sad boy, it's gonna get old pretty quick. It's why he pushed her away in high school and still keeps his distance. Oh. Second chance? I don't know. I'm gonna stop interjecting. Let's read this. But Junior follows Lauren online, and now that the shy, bookish girl he remembers is gone, he can't stop obsessing over the strikingly beautiful woman who has taken her place. And then in like another text box, it says, he's ruthless, a walking red flag. Good thing red is my favorite color. That's pretty goofy. Lauren Lo Marchetti knows Junior is dangerous. He broke her heart once and she won't let him do it again. But as their flirtatious encounters escalate, that's what I'm looking forward to. Lauren starts to remember why she fell for the brooding anti-hero all those years ago. As old obstacles resurface, Junior and Lauren are forced to face their true feelings for each other and decide just how far they're willing to go for a second chance at love. I don't love a second chance romance. I used to adore them, but so often the reason why they broke up in the first place is so low stakes and annoying and like miscommunication that it's insulting, to be honest. So I hope they had a damn good reason. And knowing what I know about Junior already, I think it might be a really good reason. I have heard mixed things on this book. A lot of people saying it's just as fun as the first one. A few people have told me it's a little less silly than the first one, which is something that I just really ate up. So I'll be the judge for myself. She smells good though. Next up, another impulse pick from the bookstore. We have Crueler Mercies. I couldn't pass her up. Look at her. Ava Reed, who I've never read, but I've heard good things about, says this book smolders in every sense of the word. Our main character's name is Vita, and when she was 9 years old, she's a princess, by the way, she saw her mother killed by her father right in front of her. And I think she either ran off or she was sent off, and now she lives amongst the crows. So I'm already a fan of hers. Apparently there's a jump 11 years later, and she's given a choice to either either marry an enemy general, so I guess her dad still knows she's alive, granting him legitimacy to take the throne, or die as the forgotten princess. So would he kill her? With time running out, Vita meets Celine, an intriguing lady-in-waiting who introduces her to the powerful but unstable magic of alchemy, which is something that I keep hearing referred to, the magic of alchemy. I can't think of what else has said it lately, but I'm so intrigued to learn more about this particular type of magic. This is what really got me though. If Vita and Celine can learn to control it and the undeniable spark between them, wink wink, I'm trying to wink, it's not working, they could burn the world of men to the ground. Okay. I haven't heard anyone mention or talk about this book, so if you've read it, please let me know. I'm curious what the consensus is. Next up, I got Hot Girls with Balls for my Aardvark pick, sorry. I love the green-purple combo, it's giving Barney. And this is a sports satire book. I believe there are 2 trans women, and they decide to compete on the men's league. And they are obviously given a lot of hate. There's also like a COVID thing, but they used a different word for it because this is a satire. And I forget if there's like a real plot or it's just gonna be this author poking at literally everyone who's rude in the world. In between their rival teams' away games across the globe, Six and Green, these are these women's names, Six and Green stay connected on space-time, like FaceTime, huh? And selflessly broadcast their romance. Oh, they're in love! Okay, I clearly have not read this whole thing. They broadcast their romance to fans on their weekly Instagraph live show. Okay. After a long season, they'll finally reunite for the championship tournament, the first to accommodate in-person fans since the COVID pandemic struck the world a year ago. Just as they enter an airtight bro bubble of the world's best, they're faced with a crisis that demands an indisputably humiliating task: make a public statement online. So wait, they're playing on different teams? This sentence, their rabid fans and horny haters await their next move. LOL. Horny haters. Isn't that the truth? We're all just desperate for a whiff of the sweaty feminine urge that makes the ball thwack with such spectacular force. Also from Aardvark, I got the Hounding. And yes, this is just a cover pick. And I will never get rid of this image because I just like how wiggly it is. It makes it seem surreal, even though like the image behind it, the painting, is pretty normal. I'm pretty sure this is like in olden times, or it better be because the people here seem rather ignorant. But there are 3 sisters and the town hates them. They're probably horny haters. When the villagers start to hear barking and one claims to see the Mansfield sisters transform before his very eyes, the allegations spark fascination and fear like nothing has before. Apparently they didn't like them just because they're a little odd, and the people think that they're better than them. But now people are saying that they're transforming into possibly dogs. That's what I'm imagining since there's dogs on the cover, and it's called The Hounding. But apparently this is told through the perspective of the villagers. There's 5 different villagers that we get perspectives of, and in that case it's being compared a lot to the Virgin Suicides, which yes is one of my favorite books. That book is so good, and I do love perspective, but the reason this book is so fucking good is because of how lyrical it is. This author can string a fucking sentence together. He should write music because I just can't get enough of it. So I'm gonna try to tamper down my expectations because that's just something I'm trying to train myself into doing. But the fact that it's short, it's a little weird, there's horny haters, like I might love this. Next up, I got How to Survive a Horror Story, and I got it for a particular reason that I'm very excited for. Gabby with Gabby Reads has asked me to be a part of the book troop book discussion for this book. Did I just say book enough? And this is the September, aka this month's pick. So if you haven't read this yet and you want to, now is the time to pick it up and we can all buddy read it together. The synopsis starts off by making this sound like a regular murder mystery with a little inheritance game in it. A legendary horror author, Mortimer Queen, passes, and a group of writers find themselves invited to his last will and testament reading, expecting a piece of his massive fortune. Why would he give it to them? First of all, each has their own unique connection to the literary icon, some known, some soon to be discovered. I love secrets, I'm ready for that. And they've been waiting for their chance to step into the author's shoes for some time. Instead, they arrive at his grand manor and are invited to play a game. The rules are simple: solve the riddle and progress to the next room. This is where it gets a little interesting. If they don't progress to the next room, the manor will take one of them for itself, which now we know why there's teeth on the fucking pages. You see, the Queen estate was built on the bones of Mortimer's family, and like any true horror story, the house is still very, very hungry. So I believe this is very much a horror and not a mystery, but it has mystery in it. It's a little fantastical romantical, perhaps. There's a lot of characters. I don't know, this could be amazing. I'm really hoping so. Next up, I got The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. This is a fan fiction. I was holding off, but then I saw a few people's reviews, and now I'm really excited to read it. Apparently, it's a slow burn, enemies to lovers romantasy following an assassin and a healer forced to work together to cure a fatal disease while resisting the urge to kill each other, or worse, fall in love. I'm not gonna ask too many questions. Also, there's cats and knives on the front flaps of the book. Yes, yes, yes. I think the dude is the assassin, and apparently he gets infected with some illness, so he breaks into her, like, I don't know, her workplace, and he begs her to heal him. And together they're going to try to cure the illness. I don't know. It doesn't sound, I don't know. I'm gonna trust the process. I'll just read it. We'll find out. Next up, Julie Chan is Dead. I've had so many people recently recommend this to me, and I'm so excited to read it. It sounds like a fun, twisty time. And at the top, there's a quote that says outrageously fun. Yes, please. I don't know that I've read this, so let me read it verbatim. Julie Chan has nothing. Her twin sister has everything. I love a twin story. Except a pulse. What? Julie Chan, a supermarket cashier with little to lose, finds herself thrust into the glamorous yet perilous world of her late twin sister, Chloe Van Heusen. What a name. A popular influencer. Separated at a young age, the identical twins were polar opposites and rarely spoke. What? See, that should be illegal. For twins not to be soulmates? Platonic? Rarely spoke except for one viral video that Chloe initiated. Finding my long-lost twin and buying her a house. #emotional. When Julie discovers Chloe's lifeless body under mysterious circumstances, she seizes the chance to live the life she's always envied. She's already making bad decisions in the synopsis. I'm gonna have like zero patience for her, aren't I? Transforming into Chloe is easier than expected. Julie effortlessly adopts her sister's luxurious lifestyle. This is giving The Lion Game. Oh my god, I love that series. Complete with designer clothes, meticulous skincare routine, and millions of adoring followers. Julie soon realizes that Chloe's seemingly picture-perfect life was anything but. Also, did you not question like if she was murdered? Wouldn't she be scared that the murderer would come back? Haunted by Chloe's untimely death and struggling to fit into her new privileged circle, boo-hoo. Sorry. Julie faces mounting challenges during a week-long island retreat with her twins' exclusive group of friends. That would be hard, to hoodwink your twins' friends. As events spiral out of control, Julie uncovers the sinister forces that may have led to her sister's demise and realizes she might be the next target. Wow, really? It's a razor-sharp, diabolical debut. Oh, I do like that. Diabolical. Oop, I've run out of room on my memory card. Uno momento. Next we have The Night and the Moth, and I'm so excited for this, and I can't even really tell you why, but I think the cover has something to do with it. It's very moody. I love the colors. It's just giving a vibe, capital V. And you know what? I can't remember what the synopsis is. It's a gothic mist cloak tale. Mist? Why am I gasping already? Of a young woman prophetess who is forced on an impossible quest with the one knight whose future she cannot see. They're gonna bang. Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. That's a good line. I just got deja vu. I've definitely read this before. Okay. Like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. Is that like gods or demons? From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the Stonewater Kingdom's windswept moors and craggy mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, how many diviners are there? My god. A mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral, rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome. The knight Roderick. Okay, yes, I've definitely read this before because I remember thinking of this meme when I saw the name Roderick. He has no respect for Sybil's visions, but when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is wrought with peril. Only the gods have the answers she is seeking, and as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god. Is that true? I think that's reaching. A devil could beat a god, but a devil is a god. I don't know. We shall see. Let me know if you've read this. I need your opinions. Next up, Maggie, or A Man and a Woman Walk into a Bar. I've talked about this a couple times. I didn't realize how small this would be, but this was a book of the month pick. I'm pretty sure this is about a woman who finds out her husband is hooking up with some lady named Maggie, and then she finds out she has cancer, so she names her tumor Maggie. To cope with all of this, our narrator starts talking to her tumor. She creates The Guide to My Husband, a user's manual for her husband's lover, Maggie. She turns her children's bedtime stories boys into retellings of Chinese folklore passed down by her own mother in an attempt to make them fall in love with their shared culture and to maybe save herself in the process. It says it's hilarious and devastating in its writing, which is such a good combo. I just feel like this will be a quick, fun, but perhaps soul-squishing? I don't know. Next up, I got The Memory Police. I've heard such amazing things about this over the years, and I think recently when my husband and I binged Severance, we were looking up like books like Severance, and this one came up quite a bit. I think this is set in like the near future, a dystopian kind of thing, where there's a section, a branch of government, I don't know what word I'm looking for here, that polices different things, and if they deem those things to be illegal, they can erase it from your memory. Hats, ribbons, birds, roses, like what the fuck is their reasoning? I must know. And if for some reason you still have these memories, you're in big fucking trouble. When a young writer discovers that her editor is in danger, she concocts a plan to hide him beneath her floorboards, and together they cling to her writing as the last way of preserving the past. That sounds beautiful. It's powerful and provocative, a stunning novel about the trauma of loss. This is gonna be like, talk about soul squishing. And before I remember hearing about this book or even remembering the title, this cover has had me in a chokehold since I first saw it. I've never been able to forget it. Such a great cover. Next up, I got The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. Kayla, this is your fault. Kayla with Books and Lala recently read this and I believe she loved it, if memory serves. I believe this is a historical, cozy fantasy romance, and I think the main character is studying like magical birds. I love it when they're studying. There's like an obsession in a book, especially if we learn about things that aren't real. I love that shit. And again, I don't think I've ever read the synopsis, so verbatim, baby. Rival ornithologists hunt rival. They hunt through England for a rare magical bird in this historical fantasy rom-com reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but with manners, tea, and helicopter parasols. I'm a degenerate, I don't know what that is. Beth Pickering, what a name, is on the verge of finally capturing the rare death whistle bird when Professor Devin Lockley swoops in, stealing both her bird and her imagination like a villain, and I'm sure her heart. Albeit a handsome and charming villain, but that's besides the point. As someone highly educated in the ruthless discipline of ornithology, Beth knows trouble when she sees it, and she's determined to keep her distance from Devin. For his part, Devin has never been more smitten. Oh! It's already working on me. He's never been more smitten than when he first sets eyes on Professor Beth Pickering. She's so pretty, so polite, so capable of bringing down a fiery, deadly bird using only her wits. Bringing down? They kill these things? In other words, an angel. Devin understands he must not get close to her, however, since they're professional rivals. When a competition to become Birder of the Year by capturing an endangered Caladrius bird is announced, they better not kill these birds. I'm actually gonna be so mad. Beth and Devin are forced to team up to have any chance of winning. Now keeping their distance becomes a question of one bed or two, but they must take the risk because foul play is afoot and they can't trust anyone else. For all may be fair in love and war, but this is ornithology. Okay. Let's read the first sentence. Do they kill these birds? I can't be having that. There's no way. Bringing down the creatures? That's not a good way to phrase that, dude. Chapter 1, there's a quote. Let's read that too. For the master ornithologist, trouble is like water off a duck's back. Wow. Spain, 1890. Oh, this is gonna be good. I sounded like a dog. It was a fine day for birding. Okay, can we play that sound back? I'm sorry. Oh. Next up, I got Overruled by Lana Ferguson. This cover ain't it. Okay, let's just admit it. But I believe this is enemies with benefits to lovers. And that is my shit. I haven't read one in so long though. So this is a scientific experiment, first of all. I need to see if this is still my thing. I'm pretty sure it is. At least from the fan fiction I write in my head. And 2, this just sounded fun. So we're gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. You can read it too if you want. I'm not stopping you. I'm now addicted to reading the backs of these, so we're gonna keep doing it. 2 times speed, that's what it was invented for. 2 divorce lawyers determined to share only beds and not hearts discover that love is something that can't be overruled in this steamy contemporary romance. Danica Pierce has one great love in her life, work. Do you remember the chokehold that this song had on us in 2016? What a time to be alive. As one of the top divorce lawyers in Austin, Danny lets her caseload keep her warm at night and has no problem being married to her job, not when love only ends in hurt. I love an avoidant, not believing in love girlie, getting her mind changed by some ratty man. When the biggest case of her career gives her a shot at making partner, it seems like nothing can possibly stand in her way except for her infuriating secret. She's sleeping with the enemy. Ezra, is known for his charm both in and out of the courtroom. In the matter of winning Danica Pierce's heart, however, he's been far less successful, with her verdict to keep things purely physical and no chance of appeal. The lawyer banter, since I'm not a lawyer, it's fun. It's really fun. Ezra struggles to show Danny he's more than an insufferable playboy she's pegged him to be, especially since they find themselves on opposing sides of Danny's most important case to date. While Danny and Ezra battle it out in the courtroom, the real trial is the one happening between them in the bedroom. I added that bit, but they wanted to say it. When Danny realizes that everything she knows of Ezra might be hearsay and that she's not the only one with emotional baggage, sorry, she must choose between her fear of trusting again and her blossoming feelings for the man she thought was her worst enemy. Now, the reason this is my favorite trope is because you get the spicy shit up front. Payment up front, I need it. It gets things rolling, and there's something just so different about a love story when the physical stuff's already been happening, because it makes their connection just so much better emotionally when they get there. And even the sex scenes are different when they're done right, because at first it's just this frenzy hot thing, which is very fun to read, I'm not gonna lie. But then as it does get a little bit more sentimental, sometimes they overdo it and I'm like, okay, go back to having fun. It does seem more real. They seem to like really give a shit about each other, and it comes off so much more than sometimes a couple that waits until the end of the book to do it. Because often I read books where it's like a slow burn and they wait and then like they're suddenly married. It's like, bro, you were probably just horny. Maybe you should have tried that out before you committed to this person. This is true commitment. Fucking in secret while hating each other. True commitment. I really hope though, because they keep talking about this case in this synopsis, they better give us details. I need the case to be interesting. I need them to really commit to it. It can't be a background thing. That's gonna be pivotal. I feel like I gotta read this quickly. I'm getting excited. Not like that. But, just kidding. I love to just say shit on here, okay? Next up, Rose in Chains. I've talked about this quite a lot. I keep saying, oh, I wanna read this book. Haven't read it yet. This is another fanfic, another fantasy romance. We are post-war. Our main character's name is Bryony. Her brother has been killed, her kingdom falls, and her home is overrun by their enemies. Yikes. Bryony is sold at an auction. I'm sorry I'm giggling, but like I know where this is headed. And the only reason people give a shit about her now is because she has remarkable magical abilities. Slay. She is sold to this dude named Tobin, who was like her enemy during school. So she's not happy about this, except apparently he's fucking hot, because of course. In a world where magic can instantly crush a human heart and even thoughts can be stolen, that sounds very cool. There can be no such thing as love. Not for Bryony. Yeah, right, bitch. A secret rebellion is brewing and she needs to find a way to escape her cage and join the rebellion. Yet despite the horrors of her new world and the role she must learn to play within it, all is not lost. Help and hope may yet arise in the most unlikely of places. I love how they're playing it coy, but like this is clearly a romance. We know where the help's coming from. I've also heard mixed things about this. I think immediately when it came out, there were some haters. Some horny haters. Come on. And then more recently, I've been hearing a lot of 5-star reviews. So I do like hearing a mix of things because it makes it less anticipatory for me. I'm just going in here with like, could be anything. Next up, I got Seduction Theory as a book of the month pick. This feels like sandpaper. This cover, it's like, even touching it makes me feel like I'm scraping chalkboard. I hate it. I don't know whose choice this was, if it was book of the month's choice, or if like the actual book in store also feels like this, but this was a mistake. But there's some juicy ass drama in here. So maybe it's like I'm reading way too much into this, but it's a pretty fucking picture. And yet the exterior is like sandpaper. Metaphors, baby. Maybe they're cooking. I didn't realize how short this is, and they must get into it quick because the drama that's in this book, let me tell you. We have a power couple at a university. I think they're both like teachers, professors, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. The lady finds out that her husband is cheating on her with his secretary. Very cliche. And this woman ends up befriending someone that she's advising. Not a very good choice. Even more so when we find out what this person ends up doing. She spills her tea to this person, and she really loves how much she thinks this student is idolizing her. And yet when the student goes to read their thesis of their graduate program, I don't know how that whole thing works. She's written an entire fictionalized version of their entire drama in her thesis for everyone to read. Determined to tell her side of the story. This is the student. I have questions there because what does she mean her side of the story? Like who's the other side? Maybe that's a reveal in here. Robbie paints a revealing portrait of Simone, Ethan, Abigail, and even of herself, scratching at the very surface of what may or may not be the truth. truth. Simultaneously provocative and tender, blah 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 blah. I'm in it for the drama. I need to know what's going on. I need to see everyone's reactions when they see that she's written this. Can you imagine the stones on this bitch? I wonder if they did her dirty or if she really is just that messy. I would love to get to this soon because my curiosity is just too much. Next up we have Sunburn. I will be reading this month, and I've mentioned this a couple times. I think I synopsized it in my 24-hour reading vlog. Also, is synopsized an actual word? But this is a book set in the 90s in Ireland. It's about two young women who have graduated high school. It takes place, I believe, during that summer when they go from friends to lovers. I have heard nothing but fucking amazing things about this book. I believe the yearning is unmatched. The writing is phenomenal. The only thing that has made me hesitant to start it is that I think they're surrounded by homophobic people and it's going to be a tough time. Let's just read it, okay? Lucy knows what she's expected to do. Fall in love with the son of a farmer next door, marry him, pray for children, and never under any circumstances reveal the truth that she doesn't think marriage or motherhood or staying in Crossmoor is for her. Girl, get out of there. That the reason she knows this is her close friend, Susanna. For years, Lucy buries her obsession, I love that they use that word, until one summer right before graduation when her friendship with Susanna escalates. It's both the best and worst thing that's ever happened to Lucy. That's the part. It's like, I'm toxic, I think. That intensity, she will do anything to keep their secrets safe, even if that means going against Susanna's wishes and continuing to hide their relationship. They need to move. They need to move and be in love. Tender and heartbreaking, Sunburn portrays the realities of growing up in a small rural town and the realities of finding out that you're not who you're expected to be. I just don't think this is gonna be a happy ending, or they're just gonna go through so much shit and it's gonna be infuriating. Also, the promise of their love story and the descriptions of it, I am so ready. So I'm waiting for my spirits to be rather high when I read this, but it's happening this month. All right, just two more. Let's see if my camera can hold out. In the Veins of Drowning, I believe this is fantasy romance. I've heard some very good reviews, and this follows a siren, which isn't something that I've read too much about. I think it's like illegal to be a siren, so she's hiding these abilities that she has. And I think also when you're a siren, see, I thought they were like scaly, sexy fish people, but they also have wings. I don't know. I'm gonna learn as I read, and fuck it, let's just read the back. Imogen Nell is hiding from a cruel kingdom that believes sirens are monstrous, blood-hungry creatures. I always just thought they were hot man-eaters. I guess that's blood-hungry. Hiding from a king and his captain who viciously hunt her kind. Hiding from her own alluring abilities. By keeping herself from the sea, Imogen's bloodlust is dulled, and her black wings remain concealed beneath her skin. When a neighboring king comes to visit, Imogen can no longer hide. He knows precisely what she is, and he believes he can save their kingdoms from an even greater monster. But Imogen's power threatens to violently reveal itself, and the two form a blood bond that protects them both. Sorry, that was dramatic, but like a blood bond. They flee together, traversing waters teeming with the undead. As the lines between duty to their people and desire for each other begin to blur, Imogen worries her ancestral powers may not be enough to kill what hunts her. The only way to defeat a monster may be to become one herself. Yes, diva. Sorry, that was cringe. I did read the first chapter recently, and I think we were introduced to all players, so I am intrigued to continue. This blood bond, I need to read about that. And finally, I've mentioned this a few times. I think I got this in May, technically. I was gifted it by the publisher, but I forgot to put it in my last book haul. This is What Hunger by Catherine Dang, and I love this fucking cover. I think this is giving a little bit chlorine, a little bit the eyes are the best part, and I liked both of those very much. I give them both 4 stars. So I do have a 4-star prediction here. Our main character's name is Ronnie, and it's the summer after middle school, before high school. So she's in this weird part of her life where she feels like she's not a kid, but she's not really a teenager. Very awkward time to be alive. In stark contrast stands her brother Tommy, the pride and joy of their immigrant parents, a popular honor student destined to be the first in the family to attend college. The thought of Tommy leaving for college fills Ronnie with dread as she contemplates the quiet house she will be left in with her parents May and Ba. Their parents rarely speak of the past in Vietnam except through the lens of food. Their family's meals are a tapestry of cultural memory, thick spring rolls with slim and salty nem chow, and steaming bowls of pho thai with thin, delicate slices of blood red beef. Sorry if I mispronounce any of those foods. In the aftermath of the war, May and Ba taught Ronnie and Tommy, that's a cute duo name, that meat was a dangerous luxury, a symbol of survival that should never be taken for granted. But when tragedy strikes, And I fear, just through that synopsis, I know what's gonna happen. I don't want it to happen. Ronnie's world is upended. Her sense of self and her understanding of her family are shattered. A few nights later, at her first high school party, a boy crosses the line, and Ronnie is overtaken by a force larger than herself. This newfound power comes with an insatiable hunger for raw meat, a craving that is both a saving grace and potential destroyer. It depicts Ronnie's Vietnamese heritage and her own mother's experiences in a moving exploration of ancestral trauma, inherited memory, and the violent power of teenage girlhood. This sounds heartbreaking, but it sounds like at the same time, which I love. And I like that they say she has an insatiable hunger for raw meat, and they also said that meat was a dangerous luxury, a symbol of survival. The parallels, I love them. I feel like I'm gonna have a lot to underline in here, but also I'm scared. I need a break from characters getting the absolute shit beat out of them, both figuratively and literally. Sorry, I forgot the other word. But she's gonna end up on top, so I guess that's all that matters. But damn. All right, that is it. Those are all the books I've gotten recently. Also, I realized there's a lawnmower outside. I hope you didn't hear that for the past fucking hour. But RIP to my binge book buying days. Honestly, it's gotten out of hand, as you can see. But it's a great hobby to have if you can afford it. Right now, I'm on a break, babe. Let me know if you read any of these books, which ones I should prioritize first. Like I said, there are several in my September series TBR, so I'm hoping to get to a few of them this month. I think out of all of these, after reading all these synopsis, what I'm most looking forward to, God, there's a lot of good sounding ones. I say that though, every single time I do this, and then they're gonna be on my shelf for like 3+ years. Right now, the ones I'm dying to read, I'm sorry, I'm ovulating. I need a romance desperately. I'm about to start one today. Not this one, but damn, I kind of want to start this one. This one just sounds like a fairy tale with a little lesbian romance in it as well. And I think I actually squealed. Is this the one I howled at? Which one did I howl at? Oh. We'll see how long it takes me to read all these. Please don't hold your breath. I'll see you later. Goodbye.